the Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Wherever you are, wherever you may be listening, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, live from the Gene Parmesan Memorial Studios. Joining me here in the studio and across the Retro Smash radio, internet, phone, smoke signal, carrier pigeon cup on a string. We need to actually make like a real name for it, like the Retro Smash internet cable phone cup on a string 10-10-220 radio network.
Ham radio. Break it right on. We got a
the
podcast
10-10-220.
Yeah, I was gonna say that just aged me like a shit ton, didn't it?
Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me to dial 1-800-CALLAT. Like you're gonna have me call ATT for the. It's free for you and cheap for them.
It's you have a collect call from Bob. We had a baby. It's a boy. And other references nobody under the age of 28 will understand.
Speaking of references, hold on. Speaking of references that people will not understand, I listened to Destiny's Child, like at work today on Spotify, and the song Bugaboo came on, and they're talking about like having MCI cut their phone calls, like having AOL block their emails, and it's like, well, geez, these dated references. It was like mind blowing. Mind you, I still love the song because I'll still bop to it all day, every day. But it's wild listening, just hearing that. Like MCI's not even a thing anymore.
What was it? The picture of like when you realize what they were stealing at the beginning of the Fast and the Furious, like the original Fast and Furious movie. It was like a VHS DVD combo and like really shitty stereo speakers. But it was like absurdly expensive back in like 1999, 2000.
I mean, those were insanely like back then. That was like a $300 like combo, you know?
Oh yeah, I completely understand that. It's just funny that like 20 years later, it's just like, oh, that's what they were taking.
It's about $20 at a garage sale now.
I'll sell it to you for 15, and you gotta take your shirt off. Deal. And that's how I lose all my shirts. Anyway, the two guys joining me, they never eat shredded wheat. He's Andy.
Oh yes, hey.
And he's Ricky.
Heyo.
What have you been up to, kids? Ricky, what have you been up to, kid?
So I this past weekend I was in Indy. The weekend before that I was in Chicago. Me and the missus got to celebrate our 3 years. It was fantastic. Mm-hmm. We did an event in Chicago. It was called Drunk Shakespeare. I highly recommend it for literally everybody ever. We went to a small theater, probably sits about maybe 50 or so, if that. And the actors they literally get drunk in front of you, and then they recite Shakespeare. Like they did a whole they did Hamlet. So they pick one. They do 2 showings a day. They pick different stories or whatever. They draw random, like who's going to like be the drunk person, pretty much the drunkest motherfucker there. It was so good. It was so good. I don't think I could recommend it any higher, honestly.
The whole cast gets drunk or just the one guy?
Say what? Yeah. I mean, like realistically, just remembering Shakespeare's work off the top of your head, you gotta be a real big like Shakespeare
They're not
person.
just like reading it, and they're not reading and acting. They're actually like have to remember this shit off the top of their head.
Yes,
okay. That's cool. All right, you have me sold.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then throughout they take shots and they drink, and it's amazing. It's fantastic, and they put their own little spin on it, of course, because they modernize it a tiny bit to make it a little bit more comedic and funny. But 10 out of 10, if you're ever in Chicago, I absolutely recommend looking up the Drunk Shakespeare. It was a fantastic event. It's like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Like it's like going to the movies, only better. So this is our second year going to Indy for our anniversary. And there is a Brew Fari event like the first weekend of October, in which it's adults only, 21 and over. And then they serve alcohol to all the adults. You dress up, costumes, they play music, DJs there, and they let the adults walk around the zoo without any kids, and it's a blast. It is. It's amazing. Like, second year going. This year, I think they had 26 different vendors as far as beer that they were giving out samples for. So you pay like $75 or whatever per person to get in. And then it's free samples for all the beer all night. Yeah. It's like, so we went to 26 different beer stands and got beer from every single one. It was amazing.
Is it mostly local beer?
Some of it was there. A lot of it was actually just from Indianapolis. And then they did have a few out of Fort Wayne as well. So Mad Anthony's was down there.
Oh, yeah. So they had the Indy Zoo beer. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Say what?
Metazoa. Did they have Metazoa?
Oh yeah, yeah. They had Metazoa. I mean, like the list goes on and on and on. It was amazing. I would always recommend this to people because it's a blast. And then we ended up going to Tappers as always, just to have some fun down at that barcade. Oh. And we also went to a place called Punch Bowl Social where I think Andy got a picture of it where I sent him. We had a giant bowl of mimosa to drink. They recommend it's like somewhere between, they say it's supposed to be for like serving size for 4 people, and me and her sat up and drank the whole damn thing. So
whoopsies.
Serving sizes are just for pussies.
You had one beer. What are you talking about?
You're right. Yeah.
I had one bowl. What are you talking about? Now, as far as video games go, I've been playing Cult of the Lamb recently. I don't know if anybody else has played this. You could get it on PlayStation and Switch and PC, I believe. Pretty much every gaming system, but I played it last year when it came out. I picked it back up again recently. It's a blast. I 10 out of 10 recommend. You play a little lamb who runs a cult, basically. It's fun. I would recommend for sure, Z's.
I think I saw Yosh play that one time. I watched shout out our friend Char Yoshi. I watched him play that one time, and that looked really intriguing. So it looks like a lot of fun. That's one of those games that I would probably watch somebody play as opposed to me play myself, though.
You like playing with yourself?
I do. I do. Speaking of playing with myself, Andy, what have you been up to? That's how you do a segue, kids.
Girlfriend and I, like I said, went to Atlanta. It's all-time low out down there. Looked at a bunch of Vampire Diary locations. I'm actually going to Chicago tomorrow morning to go get a bottle signing from the guys who do the Vampire Diaries. They do the whiskey bottled or brothers bonded. So she's going to get a signed bottle, I guess. And then I'm going to try to get them to one of my liquor stores in Fort Wayne. Because I could definitely get about $1,000 worth of products sold in about 2 hours. So
just give them a bottle that's like, you got to like invest in yourself. Give them a bottle of good stuff that makes them want to come to your store. That's how you do that.
Well, they're going to be like, "Oh, ours is the best stuff." Blah, blah, blah. It's because they had their whiskey. I was going to ask Ricky, since you're in Chicago, did you have any Malort while you were out there?
It's funny. It's funny you say that. I'm almost positive that one of the shots that they gave us at the Drunk Shakespeare was Malort, but we were pretty drunk as it is already, so I didn't even realize that's what it was.
You would know what Malort was. Malort tastes like a hot bag of garbage on a sunny day.
Well,
it tastes like someone puked back into your mouth.
Oh God!
So what you're saying is that's your type of drink?
No, that it won't put hair in your chest. It'll like rip the hair off your chest.
You'll be tearing it out of your head when you're vomiting.
It's like radioactive, and your hair just falls right off immediately.
Shit is nasty. I don't understand why Chicago's like, we're gonna have it's rite of passage. That's the worst drink you could ever imagine is Malort. There's no other way to describe it than disgusting.
Well, what is it? Like, what is Malort?
It's a liqueur.
Is it a liqueur? Okay, it's a liqueur.
And that's about as far as I can go. Like I said, it's the best description is a bag full of trash. Like you squeeze the juices out of the bottom of a trash bag and put it into a shot glass.
Oh God,
it's fucking gross.
Oh, yuck!
I'll make sure to buy a bottle for your birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we getting you a bottle for your birthday? Is that
just buy me the shot? They're available in my stores. They're about $1 or $2.
Well,
Cool.
if I could
can't
just
wait
get it
for
from
us
the
to hang
bottom of a
out.
trash bag. Yeah, if I can get it from the bottom of a trash bag,
Save
why would I
yourself
buy it from
money.
your store? Yeah, why would I save myself money?
Wally, what you been up to?
Not going anywhere and not doing anything. I went to go see my. I don't know if I told you guys this last time, but I went to go see my first movie that I've seen in about.
Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I went to go see Paw
sequel.
Patrol movie. I'm trying to think of anything else I've done with my time, Andy. Okay, the correct answer is nothing. Actually, I shouldn't say nothing because I've been playing more Valheim with Aerie and Sextet and Blink. Last night I played Phasmophobia with Pro Ninja, which is always a blast. And then Wednesday night I played Among Us with Baking It with Jason and Berserker and Just Right and Grim Falcon and the Tones, which is kind of, we do it once a month, but we're looking to do something different now. So that's kind of, I know I'm going to be streaming with Spanky here in a couple weeks. Spanky, one of the trio from the Victory Achieved podcast. So me and him are going to be teaming up to do another retro night. Hopefully in a couple Sundays if everything goes well. So make sure you check local listings. But yeah, just I'm trying to get back to streaming, trying to get back to speedrunning. I'm kind of waiting to see if my run makes it into the Retro Game Live Halloween-a-thon to see if I go back to like doing a speed run of that of Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah.
But speaking of horror games, we'll get into more horror games later. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but you guys
Don't read the title, please.
Yeah, don't read the title of the episode. just take our word for it. Like, oh, there's gonna be horror games in this one. They're gonna talk about Resident Evil.
Oh, spoiler.
You know,
Spoiler.
if you're a true listener, you should literally just open your podcast player, and we should automatically be playing right there, right off top. No anything else. It should just be like as soon as you open up your Spotify or your iHeart, it's like, hello, welcome to the Gene Parmesan Memorial Studio. That should be the first. That should be it. You shouldn't even have to click on play episode. It should be an auto play. Don't even need to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's 3 steps every morning. You wake up, you stretch, you go, Alexa, turn on lights. Alexa, start coffee. Alexa, play Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Which, by the way, you can do. It's enabled on all devices.
You gotta talk about our Canadian friends.
Yes, that was the big news. So I went on Chartable, which is how we can see how we're doing against other podcasts of the same kind of make and variety. Apparently, last week, thanks to our Canadian friends, we were the 86th most listened to video game podcast in Canada.
That is amazing. Thank you, Canada. We love you.
Yes,
my brothers to the
love
Great
Canada.
White North.
Yes, it's kind of a cool thing to see that. It's like, yeah, it's kind of in a small vacuum, but it still means a lot to us. And even if you're not in Canada and you're listening, we really honestly do appreciate you guys listening because we are already almost at the 1,400 mark. We just passed the 1,300 mark. We're almost at 1,400 already, and we're gonna do something special whenever you get to like the 2,000. We'll do something special for you guys. I don't know what that is yet.
It's just for Canada, though. The rest of you guys have not been pulling your own weight, so we're only doing a special episode just for Canada. So I started looking up Canadian video games, guys.
We're gonna be talking a lot about poutine and NHL 94. Oh, that's what we should do. We should do an NHL 94 episode. Arguably the greatest sports game ever made. But speaking of no spoilers. No spoilers.
Okay.
No spoilers. No spoilers. We're not talking sports games tonight. We're talking. It is the Halloween season. We're talking spooky games tonight, and I have a spooky game for you kids. Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's do this. Is it? Wait, hold on. I gotta get the Halloween voice. I gotta get the
Where's your Vincent Price?
Is it this or is it that? Andy and Ricky have to choose. I thought that was pretty good.
That was amazing,
Okay.
actually.
I thought it was. Okay, so your category for today is Resident Evil 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Monster Mash. Through the monster.
It was did I tell you I had sex with a girl in a cemetery? It was a graveyard smash.
Good Lord.
Oh, I thought it was funny. So yeah, Resident Evil 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to give you a list of 7 names. You have to tell me if each of the names on the list is either an enemy in the Resident Evil franchise or one of Rolling Stone magazine's top 500 guitarists of all time.
I feel like this is going to be easy, but I bet there's a bunch of curveballs.
See?
You know, this is gonna be great. I'm excited. Let's see. It might not be me clean sweeping Andy again, but let's see how bad I can do.
I got faith in both of you guys. I think you guys will both get at least 5. Because, I mean, I think you guys got it this week. It's Halloween season. It's the season of giving. So I think you guys are going to get at least 5. How do you think about that?
1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. All
I
right.
declare thumb war.
All right. Number 1, Frusciante.
What? Jeez. What?
Frusciante or Frusciante.
Is this of the world guitarist?
I'm going. Nope. I'm going. Rolling Stone.
I am going to as well because I feel like this is a trick.
Yes, you guys are both right. John Frusciante is a guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wow, jeez.
Yes.
Where's my brother at? He's a
and
nerd on that.
And in case you were keeping score at home, Rolling Stone ranked him number 25 out of 500.
Wow.
That makes
Although
sense.
I'm a little pissed off at that list right now because they only had, by the way, I'm a little pissed off at that list because they only had Prince at 14 and they didn't even have Dimebag Darrell in the top 100.
Oof.
And I think that's horseshit.
Oh, I wonder who beat Prince.
Jimmy Page was up there. So I was kind of happy with that because I'm a huge Zeppelin fan. So I'm good with Jimmy Page being up there. Clapton actually was like in the 40s. I was a little shocked with that. But not to give any more away. Number 2, Iommi.
Tommy. Hey, Tommy. Iommi.
Get out.
Iommi. Iommi.
The guitar player for Sabbath.
That's a guitar player.
Did you know? You did know that.
I know.
Yeah.
Tommy Iommi.
Okay, you did know that. All right. Well, there you go. Way to give it away.
Give it away
yes.
now.
The guitarist for Black Sabbath ranked number 13.
Oh, okay. Well, he beat Prince? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that I can go with. I mean, that I'm okay with. Number 3, Garador.
Whew. I
I'm
feel
gonna
like you're
go
gonna.
with Resident Evil.
I'm gonna stick with the guitarist. I think he's trying to mix some stuff up.
Oh, you would? I thought about it, but no, it is Resident Evil. Actually means claw in Spanish because it has big metal claws. Found in Resident Evil 4.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, Ricky, you should have known that one. That's one
Yep.
of your top games.
Number
it.
4, going from Resident Evil 4 to number 4, Majini.
I'm going guitarist.
Okay.
I'm sticking guitarist.
No, it's a Resident Evil enemy.
Oh.
It actually means spirit in Swahili. It is a type.
Fuck! It's from
2
Resident Evil 5.
Yep, type 2 plague from Resident Evil 5. Very good. But you get no points for knowing that. Sorry.
Damn it!
Got a quarter point.
Get half
Yeah.
a point.
You will get nothing like it, Spalding.
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Number 5, going from Resident Evil 5 to number 5, Thale.
Fail?
Thale. Thayil.
Oh.
Thale. Or Thale? Thale?
Seal?
Thale?
I'm going guitarist.
I'm going to keep going
Yeah,
with guitarist.
definitely going guitarist.
Good job, kids. Number 126, the leading guitarist for Soundgarden, Kim Thale. The last 2 I'm really proud of. I thought these were good. Number 6, Nyx. Nyx.
Like Stevie?
No, that's Nickas.
Oh.
And she was not a guitarist. But she is one of the top 5 greatest singing voices of all time. I will take no further questions at this time. Male or female, I'll take no further questions at this time.
She's the Post Malone of the 80s. She has that.
You got Freddie Mercury, in any order, Freddie Mercury, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Nicks, and a little bit of a wild card. I'm taking Axl Rose. Just because he has statistically has the highest and widest vocal range.
Oh, no, Mariah Carey. Christmas is around the corner. She's knocking on the door.
Yeah, she's starting to thaw out. She's thawing out and ready to wreck our Christmas.
It's already begun.
Yeah,
I know. It's starting soon. So Nicks, NYX, not to be confused with Stevie Nicks.
I'm still going to guitarist. I'm keeping it guitarist throughout.
I'm going with I'm going Resident Evil. If I remember,
it is
correctly.
Resident Evil.
Oh, damn it!
Yes, a biological experiment in Resident Evil Outbreak was the final boss. Numbers, I don't even know what the score is right now. I can't count that high.
He's beat me by.
I have
one,
5
that
and
sounds
Andy
right.
has 3.
Oh, okay, by 2.
Ricky's keeping
I
track.
guess I lost.
He keeps track of your ass kickings every
Yes.
week. I commend him for that.
It's the only thing I
Number
have
7.
to live for.
Jeez. Damn, son. Number 7, U-3.
Not you two.
Nope, not you two. U-3.
Fuck it, whatever. Guitarist. I'm going full guitarist this week.
I'm gonna actually go with guitar also on this one.
Oh, I thought you guys would do that. Yes, it is not. It is the final boss in Resident Evil 4.
But Ricky, you're supposed to know that.
But I'm
What?
like, that's so. Yeah, U-3, U3, or one of the final bosses. Not the final boss, but one of the final bosses in Resident Evil 4.
No,
Looking up what he looks like.
what? Is that like a
Quick.
code name or something? What? I'm sorry. Hold on a moment.
Hold on.
Oh, unless
Hold on. We have our first ever Retro Smash video game dispute.
no, I mean,
Yes.
I got it. It showed up here. It looks like a weird like praying mantis thing.
It's dubbed It, one of the experimental bioweapons developed by Sadler's research team on the island. It's a
Okay.
horrifying chimera of human and insect. It might be called It.
Okay, no, okay. I know. All right, I know exactly what it is. I had to look at it. I was like, what? I remember now. Yes. Fuck this thing. I hate it fighting it so much. Yeah,
See, I
I
think
remember.
If you hate fighting it, you would probably put it out of memory, which is why you probably don't know the name, which is fine. You see, I'm like, man, that sounds like one that would be just like outside, because I know like The Edge was a good one. I almost used The Edge. I mean, Slash would have been too obvious. Another honorable mention I almost used for this game was Satriani.
I could see that as an RE character.
Yeah, exactly, like Joe Satriani,
Yeah.
the famous guitarist.
Oh, you could.
If you didn't,
Honestly,
if
you
didn't
could have
already
went
know
with-
that.
You could have went with Wesker, and it would have been pretty good.
I could have went with Hendrix, which, by the way, for those of you who are keep score at home, Jimi Hendrix, number 1. Number 1 greatest guitarist of all time, according to Rolling Stone. Although my top 5 favorite greatest guitarists of all time still remains Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Prince, Mark Knopfler, and Dimebag Darrell. My 5 greatest guitarists of all time.
Guess how many of those people I dressed up for during Halloween?
All at the same time.
If you can dress up as Dime and Jimi Hendrix at the same time, that would be impressive as hell.
Well, my only Dimebag Darrell impersonation that I have is him literally just dying on stage. So,
Jesus Christ. Keep that rolling.
all right, let's jump back in.
Yeah, so let's jump back into this.
Resident Evil.
There we go. Since Ricky, you won your Resident Evil game.
You're a Resident Evil.
Oh, the Resident Evil genius. Wait, if you were an evil mastermind and you just lived around here, would you be a Resident evil mastermind?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes. I know I gave up puns, but I didn't give up dad
Yes.
jokes. I gave up puns for my own sanity, but I didn't give up dad jokes.
You should give up both.
I did. So what was your guys'? I should be ashamed of myself. Ricky, we'll start with you. What was your favorite Resident Evil and why?
I think it's pretty well documented and known that I am a massive Resident Evil 4 fanatic.
Narrator, we know this. Narrator, we know this, but I'm just trying to bring it back up for our new listeners, like the ones in Canada that we love so much.
Hi, Canada.
Oh, Canada, we love you.
Our home and native land.
No, but I do. I sincerely love Resident Evil 4. As I've mentioned, I think that it actually changed the way video games as a whole were being put out, especially horror games and action games. It was very revolutionary. So just to clarify this even more, it is the only Resident Evil game that I have played. However, that does not mean that I can't talk about the other ones. I just want to throw that out there because I'm very much so in tune with having had watched all the gameplays for them, watching the lore and the stories behind them. But as far as it goes, I guess 4 would be my favorite. Absolutely.
What games have you played, Wildy, of the series?
Yeah, like when I got the PS1 classic, the PS1 mini, I should say. I played a little bit of the original Resident Evil. I played a little bit of 4. I did play a little bit of 4. Not much to remember it. It was like years ago. Played a little bit of 4. Played a little bit of the original. Not enough to remember it. Like Resident Evil was one of my blind spots. And to be fair, we did warn you, listeners, that we would have some blind spots when it came to video games. But we're gonna shine the light on Resident Evil before we just jump straight into other horror games.
Did you play the remake on the GameCube or the original on the PlayStation?
The original on the PlayStation, like the original one on the PlayStation. Now, I did buy Resident Evil 0. I have it for the GameCube. Right now, I have not gotten around to playing it. I bought it for the sake of having it. It's like, oh, a Resident Evil game. I don't own a Resident Evil game. It's going to be cool to have one. And so that's the one I bought. And I have not played it yet.
So I might be the Resident Evil fan.
And if you were evil, you'd be Resident Evil.
Well, the first one I played was on the GameCube, the remake. Definitely one of the scariest games I played, even though I was only like 20 something. Because there was a section, everybody knows it, it's the dog section, where you're just like walking down the hallway and all of a sudden a dog bursts out the window and you just shit your pants because you're like, holy shit.
Oh, God. I've seen that. Doesn't that happen in Silent Hill too?
I don't know about a dog situation at Silent Hill, but there's whatever. But the remake on the GameCube, you walk down the hallway and that doesn't happen, but it does happen later on in the game when you go back down that hallway a different time. So most people who played it on the PlayStation were waiting for that dog jump and they're like, oh, nothing happened. And then later on that happens and they're like,
you get lulled into a false sense of security. That's awesome. That's genius.
I did play RE, I think it's 0. It starts off on a train, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Okay.
I have it right here. Yeah.
That was interesting. I don't know. I didn't much care for the tank controls on the first few Resident Evils. And I think that kind of deterred me from playing a lot of them. There was I think it was on the Wii. It was a first-person shooter where you used your Wiimote to shoot zombies, and it was god-awful. But it did tie in the Resident Evil movie, the Mia Jovovich movie, because it had the Red Queen in it. Did either of you guys see any of those movies?
Yes.
Yes.
I actually used to go to the theaters when they would come out, and I would go to the theaters and watch them. I think I literally set up through 5, I want to say. I watched the first 5 in theaters.
Damn. I didn't even know there was 5 made.
There are, I want to say there's like 7 or so.
Good Lord. They all have Mia Jovovich in it?
Yeah. I'm positive. Yes, that sounds right.
I don't know. I remember seeing the first one.
I have the finger.
The laser beams section where the guy's getting chopped up.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that is always imprinted in my brain. Much like laser beams were imprinted into his.
Yeah, that's all the second one. I know the second one was trying to go more towards the second game with Nemesis in there. So neither of you guys play the second one or the remake that just came out on the second one, I assume.
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance. But I did see that it was just outrightly incredible, especially with Mr. X just popping up out of a lot of the times out of the fucking ether and just snatching people.
Yeah, because they programmed him to. I guess he just walked around forever, and like, there's a YouTube channel called Boundary Break, and they show you like where the camera can't show you kind of stuff, and it shows him just kind of walking around like. Everything gets cold out except him, and he's just kind of walking around in nowhere land. But then once you get closer to him, the level starts rebuilding, and you can see him walking around. It's weird.
That's funky. Well, I have here from thegamer.com the best Resident Evil games ranked. So we can kind of go through them. I know we haven't played all of them, but if you're out there and you have played all of them and you kind of want to chime in and be like, hey, you haven't played all the Resident Evil games, I suggest this one or that one, or stream it. Hit us up on our email. Andy, what is our email?
retrosmashed@gmail.com.
And Ricky, where can they hit us up on Twitter?
You can find us at retro_smashed.
Ah, nicely done, kids.
That's at X.
That sounds
At
right.
X or Twitter, or we all bow
that
to...
joke will never... It's going to be a decade from now. We're still calling.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible.
It's awful.
So thegamer.com ranked...
Before you bring this up, though, did either of you guys play the other one, the newer... Sure, you guys didn't play any Resident Evils. What am I talking about? The other one that's the newer ones where you get your hand chopped off. And you
So like the
Big Mama Baby lady and the vampire chicks.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. The ones with Ethan,
Yes.
the Ethan series.
Yes, and the other one where he's
Yes.
in the haunted house place with the cannibal guys.
Yeah, so it's like Biohazard and Village.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
So Biohazard
They
was the original
are
name of Resident Evil in Japan.
Well, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
But yes, Resident Evil 7 and then Resident Evil Village. That's what I meant. But while I didn't get to play them, I did see the gameplay of it, and oh my god, it is amazing. Just like it made me want to buy them and play them, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait. There are other things that I need to buy and play first, but those two are definitely at the top of my list for sure.
I was gonna say Village was the other one that had this fucking scary section for me. Anyways, is the giant baby that's coming at you, because it's just this giant it's screeching fucking like 8-foot baby crawling at you, going, Dad.
8 foot? That's 8 foot, baby. That's it. I fight a 30-foot toddler when I speedrun Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Thank you very much.
The baby.
The baby. The baby.
Well, this baby is slimy and like looks like a slug bug thing. I don't know what the hell it is. It's gross.
The baby. I'm just gonna keep doing that now the rest of the podcast. Hope you know that. The baby. So back to the gamer. The gamer.com has the top Resident Evil games ranked. We'll go from 12 to 1. Number 12 has Resident Evil 0. Number 11 has Resident Evil 5.
Wow. 5 beat out 0.
Hmm.
I'll garbage.
I'll put it like this: 5 and 6 are trash. Honestly, 6 should be like it's not even a horror game anymore. It's just an action game, and it takes all of the actual fun out of it being a Resident Evil game.
Is 6
and 5.
Is 6 the one that has the little?
6 is the one where they 6 is the one where they combine like 3 different storylines in one game. So there's like, it jumps around a lot where it's like one part you play as Chris Redfield, the other part you play as Leon, and then in the other part you play as some other guy that I can't remember because the game was so fucking boring to watch. It was not a good Resident Evil game. An action game, but...
Which one was the one you had to carry the lady around? And then there's the toddler guy who's like Napoleon. Was that 5?
Oh, that was Resident Evil 4.
4. Oh, that was 4. Okay.
Yes.
Whenever I think
4 is the one where the guy that looks like the one that looks like with the one where you run around a castle, and then you save the president's daughter.
okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Because when I think of 4, I only think of the beginning part with the chainsaw guy.
Yeah, like the opening village. Yeah.
Okay, I was getting mixed up.
I'm sorry, Woody, go ahead.
No. This is as a sidebar before, like, if we're gonna edit this out as a sidebar, this is the shit we need for filler for stuff like this. So this is great. I love listening to you guys go back and forth. Okay, so back to the list here. Moving on, number 10, Resident Evil 2. Number 9, Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Editor note, lost some audio here. Sorry.
Number 6, the original Resident Evil remake. Number 5, Resident Evil Village, which is 2001. Number 4, Resident Evil 4. That might be, I don't know if Ricky thinks that should be higher on the list. Yeah, there we go. I'm waiting for him to be.
Let's see what the other ones are here.
Number 3.
I guess it depends on how. Yeah, go. I'll see how it pans out for the top 3, and then I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it.
Number 3, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Okay. Oh, there's a VR version of that that came out too. I've not played it, but
That would be really cool.
I think that would make me shit myself.
Yeah, absolutely not. No. And not to be outdone by other remakes, number 2, the Resident Evil 4 remake. And then number 1, the Resident Evil 2 remake. They made it bigger, better, and more terrifying in every way imaginable, according to thegamer.com. Where would you guys, out of all of the horror games, because I'm a gigantic wuss. Okay, I'm a gigantic wuss. Where would you guys put this among, like, your favorite horror games or horror series of all time? Ricky, let's start with you. If you had to take one, or like, if you can take as many Resident Evils as you want until like your top 5 or 7 or 10, whatever you want, like horror games of all time, where would you put them?
I definitely rank them. I know. I would take 4. I'll put 4 and the remake of 4 together. I'd say that would definitely be number 1 for me. And then between Village and the Resident Evil Biohazard, I would take those 2, and I will probably place them somewhere around, probably in the top 5 or 6 spots. But that's also because I have other games up there like Until Dawn.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, because that's a fantastic game, a fantastic horror game. It's one of those like, god damn it, everything I do, I just know I'm going to kill everybody. So,
what other ones would beat Resident Evil in your opinion?
I mean, there's Silent Hill. I played the. I would also put crap baskets. What's the? Hey, it's the one where the guy is the doctor. Was it like a psychiatrist or something like that? Is trapped in the mental asylum.
Oh,
I can't think of the name.
Dang,
Outbreak, or it's not Outbreak or Manhunt, is it?
No.
Outlast.
Oh, Outlast. That's what I was thinking. It was Outlast.
Is it just called Asylum?
No. Is it Outlast? No, not Out. Is it Outlast?
No, yeah, Outlast is a horror game. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, I'll play like this. The fucking cover of it is a guy, and it looks. I was say the cover of it is a guy, and his face is being pulled apart by like barbed wire.
Oh,
The Suffering. Actually, hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on.
And that actually is the cover for The Suffering as well, I think.
Evil Within? I'm just looking up horror games.
There it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. Yes. The Evil Within. What did you say, Andy?
Oh, I said Asylum also, but
you say you don't consider.
What? No, I pulled up.
Yes, evil
horror games. The Suffering is technically in a prison, I think. Also.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I don't know how you want to get this one back on track, but
So you're putting that in your top 5 then?
Absolutely. It was a blast to play, and I was on the edge of my seat playing it the entire time. But yeah, things like Until Dawn, Evil Within, The Quarry, all those games, I have been but has been clenched, uh, controller has been gripped, and I am literally yelling at the cats if they move a muscle in the fucking house while I'm playing with the lights off.
Have you played Amnesia?
I have not played Amnesia,
or whatever it's called.
but I did watch the game. I
Okay.
watched the gameplay of it, and that had me like pretty much pulling proverbial covers over my fucking head. And this is, mind you, this is when I worked at the hotel third shift by myself. So I would be watching that, and then I would have to go up to the third floor where we kept the power off, and I'm like, I gotta do my fucking walks.
Look here, don't go.
Why?
So did you watch Markiplier?
And I'm like, what? Can we just
or PewDiePie? Or all three?
No, I watched the person that I watch. His name is the Rad Brad.
Okay.
I've been watching him for probably around the time, like shortly after he started YouTube. And he's been doing it for around 13 years now, I think 13, 14 years. And right around when I started at my first hotel, I just so happened to stumble upon his game channel, and he used to be very big into streaming only horror games. And then he got bigger into AAA titles. But that was one of them that he streamed. And I remember I specifically remember him yelling, "Fuck that chair, fuck this shit, fuck all this shit." And like, it was great. The game was so good. I was jumpy as shit. It didn't help whenever the phone rang, because it would just be real quiet, except for me watching TV. And then the phone rang. I'm like, oh, shit.
Talking about streamers and horror games, I know Five Nights at Freddy's blew up out of nowhere. There's a movie coming out. Any opinions on that?
I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's.
I mean, I've only seen gameplay.
But again, another one that I've watched. It looks entertaining. We've watched, Andy, I think you and I set up and watched the game theories on it that Matt Pat does.
Yeah.
And I think they're amazing. I think it's really fantastic with that they managed to take what they've done with the franchise. I'm happy for them, honestly. I think it's fantastic. I will definitely be watching the movie. So there's that.
Andy, what about you? If you had to do I was gonna say, Andy, what would you do? Top five or seven, kind of.
Well, I was gonna bring up Condemned was one of the scarier games I played.
Oh,
because that's also flickering lights and everything else. And then there's that section with the mannequins, and it's full on Doctor Who Weeping Angels shit where you just turn around, there's mannequins right behind you. You're like, oh, there's another one I was going to bring up, but I can't remember what the hell it's called. I was trying to find it. I'm just kind of going through, I just pulled up horror games. I was trying to think of any other ones that we have not talked about yet.
I got like a weird top 5 list of horror games, because I play games that are generally considered scary, but I don't know if they're considered horror games. Like, I got a couple that are obviously horror games, but not really what you would consider a horror game, I guess.
Dead by Daylight. I don't know if you want to, is that considered a horror game, even though it has horror creatures in it?
I'd say yeah. That's kind of, I got another game that I'm kind of gonna put up there for the horror game. So yeah, I would say it's a horror game.
Anyway, I know I always watch Charyoshi play when I get a chance. Shout out to him.
Again.
Yeah. Oh, Phasmophobia. Jesus.
Dang it.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's the one I was going to put on my list.
That's the one I crap my pants every time I play that game. God damn, is that game scary. Especially when you get lost and everyone's running away from you, and then the fuckers ghost is chasing you down. Oh, the amount of times I've screamed. God damn, that game's scary. So I'll say there's a bunch of zombie games if you want to bring those up.
No spoilers, because I'm getting to my list here in a second.
Okay, well, I was gonna say the Dead Island series.
I said no spoilers.
Oh, well,
actually, no. I'm sorry. I wouldn't put Dead Island on there,
because those are more. It's not scary. It's just kind of, just fun. Beating up zombies.
See, and Dead Rising is kind of the same way. Where Dead Rising is way super fun, but still, Dead Rising 3 is still one of those games that just pisses me off. But I might put it in my top 10 because it was still just ostentatiously fun for what it's worth.
Last of Us, same thing. Technically a zombie game, but it wasn't scary. It's a good story, but
I don't know. I think I would kind of say that The Last of Us would be more so along the lines of a survival sort of game. Kind of like, I I guess, slightly akin to like I would say Fallout, only just with a more linear path.
So what would you put like Left 4 Dead? Because Left 4 Dead is going to be in my top 5. Where would you put Left 4 Dead on there? Well, scariest games that I've played. Like, I don't play a lot of scary games. Or at least scary games that I enjoy. Because, yeah, I played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I got through like 18 minutes of that and had to shut it off because I thought I was going to have fucking heart palpitations.
Left 4 Dead's pretty mild. There's scary moments, especially when all of a sudden the tank's fucking coming down and everyone's like, tank!
Well, right. Tanks or you run into the Red Queen or whatever, it's the Red Witch.
Yeah.
I'll put it like this. I enjoyed Left 4 Dead through and through. I would say it's definitely in my top 10. I still have very fond memories of me and Andy sitting up with our friend Kyle and recording a sketch that you can find on YouTube. It is GTA Fort Wayne, and we set up and we right after we got done recording, we set up and we played Left 4 Dead for probably I don't know, like 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
I literally fell asleep with the mouse and keyboard in hand, like playing.
Phil's here.
I just got what you said. Phil's here. I'm like, what do you say? Oh, Phil's here. So not necessarily scary games, but top 5 horror games that I've played. Obviously, I got to put Zombies Ate My Neighbors at number 1. I have to. It's not scary at all, unless you run into the werewolves. The werewolves can get kind of scary sometimes, but that gets kind of into a panic situation. 2, just because I played it recently, so it's kind of like recency bias. I definitely put Phasmophobia up there because I play with Ninja. The thing is, Andy, if you're playing Phasmophobia by yourself, it's terrifying, but if you play with a group of friends,
it's more scary.
Well,
everybody leaves me alone. And I'm like, where'd everybody go?
Oh no, yeah. Like I was playing with Ninja last night. We're actually recording this episode on Friday the 13th, which is kind of neat. So make sure you leave cookies out for Jason Voorhees, or he will stab another teenager. Nobody laugh at that. You gotta leave cookies out for Jason Voorhees, or he won't stab another teenager.
I don't want to stab teenagers.
Why do we want so many teenagers dead?
Dude, kids, get off my lawn.
Like, I guess that's fair. All right, whatever.
Jeez.
So I'm putting Phasmo.
I would.
No, what were you gonna say?
Oh, it's fine. I was gonna make a terrible. I couldn't even think of anything off the top of my head, but I was gonna make some sort of shitty ass Jason only hates you if you're having sex joke. So I think that both of you would be safe.
Boom, 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 boom.
Although that's not fair, Wody. There's evidence that you've had sex on at least 2 occasions. So
that is true. That is true. Yes, I have had sex twice.
Only twice. Home runs each time.
He's had sex at least twice, knocked it out of the park both times, and then got snipped and said, "All right, hang up my jersey right there. I'm done."
hang up my jersey, like to hang me up by the rafters of the United Center, like next to Jordan's jersey.
Testicles hanging there.
His balls are just hanging right up there in the Coliseum, just like right where the Comets jerseys are hanging up, and he's like, "Greatest to ever do it."
There's the 08 banner, the 2019 banner, and then my balls.
Jesus.
And then I think like the Fort Wayne Mad Ants like 2016 trophy. Anyway, where were we? Can I talk about my top 5 list, please?
So you got to 2 or 3?
To 2. I got to 2. I got to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I got to Phasmo. I did enjoy playing Silent Hill 2. I've only played it a couple times, but I did enjoy playing it. That's one that here's my thing with the Resident Evil games. Those are games that I enjoy watching other people play. I enjoy watching like Silent Hill. I enjoy watching other people play because it has such a good storyline. And there's a couple of games that Ari was playing last year. I can't think of what they were. They're almost like a choose your own adventure, like RPG kind of storytelling kind of game. There's like a whole big series. I'm trying to ask her what it is. I cannot think of it off the top of my head, but it literally like there's a storyteller inside like a library, and you're pretty much playing through the game like a choose your own adventure kind of game. Like I enjoy watching those kind of things because I enjoy watching the horror games as opposed to playing them. Because if you were to ask me like what kind of horror games I enjoy, like I enjoyed Left 4 Dead, I enjoyed BioShock
I was gonna bring Bioshock up.
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of the original. I still think
Yeah.
the original BioShock is one of the best games I've ever played. Like the OG BioShock from 2007. That's one of the best games I've ever played.
I'd say Bioshock 3, I have a good memory for our roommate Scott. I was watching him play through it, and then he got towards the end, and his mind, I could watch his mind melt and blow, because he like got to the end, and they like turned around to me, he's like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I was like, I was laughing so hard.
all my years of playing video games, that probably had the biggest, like, crazy ass, like, exactly. It was a mind melting ending. And rarely ever did anything in a game. Like, I can remember in Gears 2 when Dom decided to end it. That was a big video game moment for me. Yeah, the ending of BioShock. Just trying to think of what other, like, big video games moment made me, like, just gasp out loud. And those are the two big ones for me. But
Do you have a 4 and a 5?
well, four was BioShock.
Oh.
But again, I don't know if you consider that a horror game or not. But then 5, I'm surprised nobody has brought this up yet. It's a tie between Symphony of the Night and Super Castlevania 4.
See, I was wondering that too, because those are monster games, but are they scary games?
Or, I mean, are they considered horror games? Like, it does have to be scary to be... Zombies Ate My Neighbors isn't an inherently scary game, but it's
Neither is
considered a horror
Castlevania.
game. Well, it's like Decap Attack. Decap Attack's not an inherently scary game. Shout out Spanky. It's not an inherently scary game, but it's considered a horror game. You know what I mean?
I suppose. I got a little smaller list. We didn't mention a few things.
Go ahead.
Alien Isolation. What talking about mannequins, because those robot dudes are fucked up.
Okay.
Did we watch gameplay of that at least, or play it? Okay.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of gameplay. I don't have the guts to play all these like super scary games like that.
The alien would just like come out of the vet and just snatch you up. You wouldn't even know. Supposedly there's hints, but if your first time playing, you didn't know those hints, you would just get snatched up and die. We didn't bring up Dead Space. That was the other one I wanted to bring up.
Oh, that's on my nursing home That's on my nursing home bucket list.
Yeah, that game was fucked me up a little bit too. Fatal Frame is the other one. I've never played that game, but I've seen footage of it, and that looks scary as fuck too. You're taking
What game is it?
Fatal Frame.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've seen footage of it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, you want to describe it, or you want me to?
You can describe it.
Okay, but basically, you're just taking pictures. You're like in a haunted house or something weird. I don't have enough memory of it. I just remember seeing bits of it and being spooked by it. Did any of you guys play? Technically, it's a Silent Hill game, but did any of you guys play PT?
Oh, I watched them play it on Game Grumps.
Oh well, that's probably not a good intake from it.
No.
That game
I was gonna say no, Andy. I would say Andy, you played PT, didn't you? I think I watched you play it.
My PlayStation still has it. I don't know if that's worth anything, but my PlayStation still has PT downloaded onto the hard drive. So if I ever end up selling my PlayStation, you can get my PlayStation, get my PT game, because they deleted it off the PlayStation Marketplace. You can't get it.
Now, I know I've said before, I'm not a big like horror game fan because I'm a big wuss, and I'm like, I really can't do that. It's not good for my heart. However, I am way super excited for Silent Hill F
Yes.
coming out. I think I've said that before. Like, I am, for some reason,
Yeah.
I am geeked up for Silent Hill F. Like, I haven't been geeked up for a Silent Hill like release ever. But I saw the preview for Silent Hill, and the fact that it takes place in like 1950s Japan, and it's almost one of those where it's like the magnolia trees, like they're white and red, but the red is not the cherry blossoms, it's blood. Kind of one of those things that just messes with your head. It's like, okay, this is going to be really intense, and I'm really looking forward to it. Are you guys looking forward to? Is there any horror games coming out that you guys are looking forward to or not? Or
Nothing much. Alan, I thought, isn't there an Alan Wake sequel coming out too? I don't know if you guys played that or not. Alan Wake's kind of like a Stephen King type of. You're in a Stephen King type of game.
my aunt Liz played. Shout out to my aunt Liz. She played Alan Wake. I don't have the balls to play it.
I don't think it was. Well, for me, it didn't feel that scary, but it was spooky.
I would say Alan Wake was it was pretty cool. Sit up and watch. Another one I didn't get a chance to play, but this was like a lot of games came out during a 10-year stretch where I was legitimately working nothing, practically like double shifts, being on call at a hotel. So any free time that I had was just spent either drinking with friends when I had the time or trying to catch what little sleep I could. So some of these games I just didn't get to play. The closest I got was just watching somebody play it, but it was good.
Most of my time's done catching the gist of a game instead of watching a full playthrough or doing it myself.
Same. And I know a lot of a lot of our friends on Twitch will play horror games around Halloween, and it's like nice watching them play. And like I can get
instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say they can get scared instead. I can just kind of do what I want to, but they got to be fully invested, and that's a them problem.
Before you get into happy times, though, I did want to bring up slightly few more.
Oh, go ahead.
Just because I got them on this list here. Mortuary Assistant. I'd recommend at least watching someone play that game, because that game looks scary as shit. Where you're basically doing a mortuary, you're like sucking the blood out of somebody and like filling them up, but they're alive-ish and ghosts. I don't know. It's scary. No one brought up Slender Man? I don't know. Whatever. That's one of those newer ghost game things.
It's one of them newer games.
I just wanted to bring it up because there's those kids that like killed each other because of Slender Man. That was kind of fucked up.
The teenagers, them damn teenagers again.
And Prey was the other one I wanted to bring up real quick too. Prey is pretty cool. I don't know, it's like a space alien thing that takes shapes of like the chair and stuff, so you don't know it's there. And all of a sudden the chair starts moving and it attacks you.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
No way. No thanks. Real quick, we're going to take 10 seconds before we get into happy time here. What was your favorite Halloween costume you've ever had? Go.
Megavolt from Darkwing Duck.
Okay, that's neat.
I used the toilet paper tube for my nose and had a yellow jumpsuit thing. I don't know, I was like 12.
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
I'll say I did a plague doctor.
That was a few years ago.
Literally the Halloween before COVID, I dressed up as a plague doctor, and then I guess I was a bad omen.
It's a terrible omen.
Little did I know what horrors I was truly bringing upon this world.
Yourself, buddy?
I was Mario when I was 8 years old. That was my favorite Halloween costume I ever had. I was a firefighter one year. I was like all the stereotypical ones. Like I was a firefighter, I was a ninja. I really don't remember a lot of my Halloween costumes for some reason.
Oh.
I was a Power Ranger one year.
So you just went and bought the stereotypical costumes, didn't do anything.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like way super outrageous. It was just like,
oh, I love Halloween. I've been a nun with a beard, Santa Claus, which was a fun one because everyone's like, "Hey, you got the wrong holiday."
I'll put you on my list.
That was a good one you did for your Walter White, actually. Yeah. You like full on shaved your head and everything.
Another one I shaved my head for was Homer Simpson, and I painted myself yellow. And I shaved my head and did the whole zigzags in the hair. I want to do
your Hulk Hogan was pretty good.
Yeah, yep.
I'll say I've done Jimi Hendrix, and a few years ago I did sad emo. I mean, which is pretty much my everyday life. But I dressed up. I got the wig and everything, like sad.
Every time that basketball player shows up, I think of that costume. I don't know who he is. But I keep seeing pictures of him, and I'm like,
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's like, I'm in my sad boy era right now.
Oh, Jimmy Butler, The Heat. Yes. That was the one where
about.
I was gonna say that's the one where the Chef Reacts guy on Twitter. He put a picture. There was a picture of like Jimmy Butler, and he had a really funny like Fall Out Boy pun about it. And I commented, I put, "We're going down in the Eastern first round."
I saw that.
And he actually liked that tweet.
Nice.
He liked that tweet and like responded with like a laughing emoji. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a micro celebrity now.
Well, he was on Cloud 9. That was it.
That was the
Nothing else will
last
touch
pun
that
I've
for him.
made. I hadn't made a pun in like 3 months, and that was the first pun I made, and like I peaked. So I can't make another pun again. All right, going from scary games into happy time. Happy time, people. Happy 29th anniversary Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo. The game where you can suplex a train. Released October 11th, 1994, which is my favorite because that's the one I had to speedrun for Super 16.
Oof.
And I had actually it wasn't too bad. It took me 40 minutes to get through the first boss, so it was actually not terrible. Happy 50th birthday.
Jeez.
50th birthday, Steve from Blue's Clues.
To Andy?
Close. Steve from Blue's Clues. Steve Burns turned 50 October 9th.
Dang.
Remember to take your ibuprofen for your back, kids. And then one kind of off one here, just so I can round out 3. Happy 36th anniversary to NXS's album Kick, which produced 4 top 10 singles. There goes the Notebook.
And 30th anniversary to Nightmare Before Christmas since the spooky season.
38?
30.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, wait a minute. When was this made?
It was today is their 30th anniversary, October 13th.
What's this?
1993.
That came out the same year Beauty and the Beast did?
I think Beauty and the Beast might have been 92, but
Oh, was it? It was that or Little Mermaid was 93, and then it was Lion King. That's bonkers. That while making those hits, I'm like 3 beers deep right now. Making those hits, they came out with Nightmare Before Christmas. Disney in the 90s was to be beaten. It cannot be beaten. Okay, anything else you kids want to add before we get out of here?
Well, I'll say today, happy Friday the 13th to my 2 besties, because they're the only ones who will actually get to enjoy it when I say this. But happy Halloween to everybody, because that's when this episode will be dropping right before then. So happy Halloween. Have a safe Halloween. Make sure that you put lots of razor blades in kids' candy, and don't give them any of your drugs.
if you got weed candy, bring them my way.
Oh yeah, same. I will.
We're in Indiana. No,
I was gonna say we can't do weed candy here. We can. Our friends from up north can do that, but we can't do that. So yes, from all of us here at Retro Smash Video Game Podcast, have a great, happy Halloween, and good night, Canada.
Thanks, Canada.
Yes, good night, Canada. That was a good one, man. I just had 3 beers during that episode, and they're starting to hit it. They're starting to set in. This is not good. Three 16-ounce Coors deep.
316. Give me a hell yeah.
Anytime I hear glass breaking, I'm always like,
So start waddling out.
dude, did I tell you guys what happened to me like last year at work? Me and my coworker, we had to get a $4,500 windshield out of a box. And we had to move it out of one box because the box wasn't long enough. We were going to move it into another box so she could ship it out. And I don't know if she fucking dropped it or whatever. And there's a 45. This thing had to weigh 100 pounds. And it was like straight, like treated glass. Man, I don't know if it like fell an inch or whatever, or if she dropped it. But man, that thing shattered into like a million pieces. It was actually like the coolest thing ever. Because I had a good hold of it. But my first instinct after it shattered, I looked around to see if Stone Cold was nearby. The second thing I did was go, holy shit, that was cool. And then I realized, fuck, I might actually be getting fired for this.
The boss come down and said, "I'm gonna rip your candy ass."